So you've come up with a riff or the whole track like this and want to use it in your project. Last time we learned how to use generated MIDI drums and audio files per instruments, but there is another option: go full MIDI and use any VST instrument you want or have. Groove supports exporting MIDI tracks for VST instruments with already programmed articulations. It provides several ready-to-use profiles for bass, Loki and TR6, and guitars, Odin 3 and Metal Hellraiser. It also gives user possibility to set up articulations for any other VST instrument you have. If there is no your VST, then select custom and set up a few parameters. Muted switch note, dead switch note, harmonic switch note, sustained switch note, note name for clean note switch. It's only applicable if manual switch is enabled. Octave offset. Some virtual instruments map their actual notes an octave higher than they are, because articulation switches take some notes range. If your VST plays C1 note under C2 in MIDI editor, then set octave offset as 1 octave up. Offset switch. Some virtual instruments require a switch note to be played right before an actual note. Enable for this case. Leave disabled if your virtual instrument requires the switch note to be played at the same time as an actual note. Manual switch. In some virtual instruments, switch notes are not getting reset after being used. This means that not articulated notes need to be articulated with a sustained switch. Sustained switch note will be used if enabled. Read the documentation on how to program articulations for your VST instrument and put them in the settings above. So, we downloaded archive with MIDI file inside. Let's unpack it and import to our DAW. In my case, it's Reaper. I use my Reaper template for full MIDI track mixing, which you can get on my Patreon. See link in the video description if interested. I use Get Good Drums and Perfect Drums, Loki Bass, and Metal Hellraiser for overdrive guitars. See my previous video on how to set up proper notes mapping for drums, part imported from Groove app. Let's play the track. Something is wrong, isn't? Guitars are not playing some notes. This is because in Groove app we generated track of scale with the roll C1 note, but the lowest knot in Metal Hellraiser VST is C sharp. Let's transpose tracks a half step up so that all the notes are in the range of our VST. Please note that we only transpose actual notes and we don't need to touch switch notes, the ones that are used for articulation. Also, even though Loki Bass is able to play C1 note, we also transpose the track half a step up to match guitar's parts. Let's play it again. Much better.